start, so he will start out, at least if he wants to, with that first item. South. Oh, I think he actually... What did he actually buy? He bought something else.
Let's see. So, lanes, as expected, looking to be setting up as these 2-1-2s.
2-1-2s.
The Omni Clockwork top burn for Newbie, and oh, that cast bounce. Get a few punches in there, Lil, but overall, look at the bounty rune top. Newbie actually, by the looks of it, able to secure 3 of the bounty runes to begin with. Na'Vi only getting the 1 on their own side down towards the bottom.
Oh, okay. So I think... Is that what happened? I think this is Dendy's... I think Dendy bought a second sentry, it looked like, for Lil. Yes, okay. So he did buy secondary sentry. Lil put down the sentry. There was not actually a ward block in the camp. But yeah, just in case. He wants to have that pull open because they know that this Lycan's going to have trouble up here versus Clockwork Omni Knight.
Well, let's see. Let's see how Dendy can do in this mid lane. SCCC Lina against Dendy. Dendy's quad was only level 6. It's a level 9 Lina. You know, if I've learned anything from Pokemon, he's in trouble. Now, Crystallize can get away with his farm up top. It is one of his strongest, the Lycan. Sure, they banned out the Morph and the Slark, but getting the Lycan through, they're still going to be happy with that one. Mugi Luna as well, the same story. This is sort of his next go-to after the, what was banned again? The Gyro and, what was the other carry they banned? The PL. They banned out the Gyro and the PL. Top lane, KP.
KP?
He's taking some punches, he crystallized a little. Can't quite get the kill though.
So they decided instead of playing just like the, I guess,
well, I mean,
oh my god.
Ooh, he's got a salve.
I guess because it's a Witch Doctor, they actually were afraid of just standing toe-to-toe in the lane, and Kaka wants to just manipulate the wave instead. He pulls that second creep wave behind the tower. But Crystallize is going to get absolute free farm under these first 2 waves. So,
he certainly is.
Okay. And bottom, we saw, like, as we were being pointed out, is a lot of pressure coming out with that level 1 Fade Bolt and Orb of Venom. That damage reduction also makes it very annoying. That Lunar Blessing pretty much gets completely counteracted if you get hit by it. That 20 hero damage reduction.
And we're looking at it, did the Sentry just miss that Obs Ward down at the bottom from BB?
Sure did. It's a little far.
It's a little long. All right.
It was to block the camp anyway. Yeah. They don't want the Doom to be getting that easy Satyr creep as we see so often. And look at the first startup in the 3 lanes. Na'Vi looking good.
They're doing fine. 10D pretty much matching CSCS against SCCC. This middle lane. Top lane, KP playing very aggressive here. He feels he can. He's the Omni Knight.
Yeah, Witch Doctor versus double melee. Pretty damn sure. I mean, Kaka left the lane right at the start. That was the only thing. I really thought that they were going to just run in and try to pressure.
And is that really how good mangoes are? We're seeing Lycans, what, with triple mango?
3 mango as
triple
well,
mango Lycan, yeah.
He probably thought that he was going to be under heavy harassment and wanted that extra regen. With that Feral Impulse and mangoes, it's always really strong because you got the Dominator right away.
Mid lane, that's going to be your first blood. General. He waltzes into mid. SCCC doesn't expect it and they get the kill. Same time up top, Lil. He's going to be fine as the cask holds them back. Crystallize starting to punch into KP, push them backward. But that's first blood.
And getting these early points in Wolves. Battery Assault now really not going to be much of a thing up top. Na'Vi. Mid lane looking great. Top lane's going to be absolute free farm on Crystallize and General with that completely unexpected rotation to mid. Now Faith stepping up a bit far.
Oh, telekinesis there, but quick beam from Mugi. Make sure the General can't get any further punches in.
Level 1 telekinesis is so underwhelming.
It is nowadays. Not quite the spell it once was. So far, no one really falling too far behind. It's the KP, sure, he's a little bit under, so's General. Everyone's farming.
Yep.
Which, I mean, we see that a lot of times now with this 2-on-2 situation. The fact that you've got the supports in both lanes. No one's sort of being left alone. Everybody's got a friend, apart from the mid, which is great, because we are back to this sort of meta where we get the first 5 minutes where pretty much purely 1v1. Sure, General did waltz over to get that first blood, but other than that, you can expect to see some classic 1v1 matchups nowadays.
Yeah. Which I like General's movement there too, because overall Lina versus Queen of Pain, it's pretty hard as a co-op to pressure that Lina if you get hit by a couple Dragon Slaves. Your mana pool is not equivalent to Lina, who has 900.
Oh yeah. Bottom lane, Mugi. Oh, getting zapped down incredibly low. Kaka will be there to hold the back. Coming in with this rotation, Battery Assault as he chases down General. They got the kill, they've got the cog control. Can General cut his way out? He's sort of blocked in by his own creep by the looks of it. General's dead. The creep holds him in. General can't get out, and Newbie able to get themselves a kill onto the board with that rotation from Kaka.
Having to bring 3 heroes down to deal with this pressure, though, from the Doom and the Rubik. Lycan was already pretty much free, absolutely free farming top.
Yep.
Now he's going to have an even better time, and now it's going to open up the game for Lil to do pretty much whatever he wants whenever that Clockwork has left that lane. And they're going to be splitting tri-lane experience down bottom if they do keep it like this. So I think they do have to make sure that they don't sap too much experience from Mugi. You want to get that early level 6 bottom. Valor.
He's in a lot of trouble. He will manage to telekinesis Kaka out. But the cogs are still remaining, and he cannot escape, so that'll be Vela going down. Kaka and Faith are going to fight him around that boundary room spot. And again, General with these rotations, instant TPs coming in, but Dendi sidesteps the light strike break. Comes in with a heal, keeping SCCC alive. They'll turn, they'll take one, and they may be able to find Dendi as well, as Dendi's trying to run away. Pops the fairy fire, Vela TPs in. Dendi keeps in a right clip, but the stick charges as well. Dendi will be fine. He's going to turn with the Sonic Wave and telekinesis. He'll get the kill onto Faith. Dendi surviving, thanks to Vela coming in just at the right time.
SCCC getting very fortunate there from KP's rotation. Perfect time for him to TP in.
They'll shrine up as well. SCCC now 6. We'll see if he can get a kill just like Dendi did with those ultimates. So top lane, Crystallize continue to farm, so is Mugi. And it really is all about the pace of this. If Na'Vi can get the ball rolling with these two cores to make sure that Mugi doesn't have sort of the 10 minutes of free farm that a Luna revels in.
I think right now Na'Vi's very happy with what's going on though. Crystallize is going to have that early dominator. He's going to have 6 pretty early on too.
Oh, and Dendi, he got baited in there by Faith. Tried to go for the kill, but a quick nightmare allowing time for SCCC to sweep across with a combo will take him down. Same time down bottom, General. Again getting trapped in by his own creeps as he goes a little too aggressive onto the two of them. Newbie now 5 for 2.
Now Navi's not too happy.
No,
right after
they've given up a couple of core kills just like that.
Those are some big ones there.
Few mistakes.
Eyes on Crystallize though. That early dominator is finished.
Found Faith. Don't want to die too far. KP is here as well.
Right when Crystallize hits 6, I think he can look to pressure the mid.
Just sidestepping it a little bit, making it hard for no one to land that kill. But I just want to stress how important it is that this tier 1 goes down in the bottom lane. For TNC, it's like generally both carries by this point in the game, in an average game, they're generally on the opponent's side of the map, farming all of that because it's a much safer, much more efficient route for them. But the fact that Slark could just stay here uncontested, mostly because he did get the counter pick on the Beastmaster, there's no legitimate threat for him. Being able to hold this tower forever is a really big deal because he's getting pretty much the best farm possible while Troll is just like hanging around this bottom lane. He needs to get battle fury, and then at that point he's not really going to be helping his team. Generally the carries want to take down that tier 1. That's their team.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Lineup from Team Liquid. Exorcism popped. They want to get another kill on G.
Yeah, and they're doing it rather rapidly as well. There's a creep wave coming in that's going to be able to keep him alive for the moment as Phobos threatening but not fully committing for GH, and G just willing to stick around and get whatever little bits of damage that he possibly can. Bottom lane, the battle continuing. They've got mind control in their sights. He does have roar available. Need to be careful. The turnaround is going to be there. And with the tombstone already down, the TP away, mind control escapes, and Kuro going to be shackled as they take down the tombstone, and now going to probably take down the Undying. Yeah, he will fall as well.
They don't have too much control at this point on side of Team Spirit. They need, okay, the Warlock just hit level 6, so that's a big ulti cooldown that they have. Everything else is pretty much low cooldown and they can keep fighting all the time. They just need a couple more levels and Shackle Shot, and they need, I'm not gonna say a couple more because he doesn't have any at this point. They need Ice Path levels as well.
Yeah.
bounty runes. Fill up his bottle.
Dyer's middle
So
tower
VG
is
Gaming actually get
under
all 4 of them. The duel goes out onto Old 11. Fly is here, but he has no mana. They're going to need Crit to actually pick it up with the Burrow Strike, but he's a little bit far away. Managed to get a long one over the cliff into, but Old 11, he just flies over those cliffs, lives with just 57 HP from the final nuke from S4.
It looks
They're
like Dyer fortified
outmaneuvering
the
EG right now. They're just being a lot more efficient on the map. I mean, the fact they can get 4 bounty runes. This Bat Rider hasn't really gotten involved with the rest of the team, but 11's managed to get a lot of farm, put a lot of pressure on. He keeps forcing rotations. He's been against like a dual lane or a tri-lane for half the game. The other half, he's just fighting a solo LC, so it just doesn't feel like EG's had the laning stage success they were hoping for. Heroes like Legion Commander, Luna tri-lanes, you're expecting to win those lanes, not go even or be slightly down.
Yeah, the only lane that was going well was Sumail's mid lane. Leshrac against the Ember Spirit, and he obviously fed away a lot of that advantage when he tried to go for the kill on Ori. Now, Evil Genius is just going for that 10-minute rush onto a tower. They're going to try and take away the Dire safe lane tower. VG Gaming are being a little bit more efficient. They're just leaving a Gyro solo in the bottom lane. He'll take that tower freely, leaving everybody else from VG Gaming to kind of rotate around, see if they could spot out a kill.
I think if you're VG Gaming, you feel much better about this when your carry solo pushing the offlane tower and you know the opposing team has to send 2 heroes to sit behind a Luna to push. Meanwhile, Bat Rider's still continuing to farm. He's got his Blink Dagger up already, so imagine a smoke from this Lion plus Bat Rider is very imminent right now, and that almost certainly will find a kill unless there's some kind of fantastic insta-press the attack save. Or they smoke under a ward or something.
They're going to put Paparazzi in that top lane, feeling like he's going to go kind of unchallenged. He'll deal with the wave that's pushing into the tier 2. Now, I don't think he really pushes out past that unless his team is going to try and bait him. And it looks like with the 3-man rotation coming up through the jungle, they're going to spot out Arteezy, blink onto him, see if they can pull down the trees. But, of course, the Legion Commander was there. They managed to get the Hex out. They're still going to go for the kill on Arteezy. They do have that Finger of Death to be able to blow him up. It's going to be close call. Paparazzi, they should be able to run down multiple heroes thanks to that call down. Now, Ori in the back line, he'll just clean up the rest. They do a ton of damage into Leshrac, pop him, and that is it. All the threats are gone. They completely wipe Evil Geniuses, and all they lost was a bounty hunter.
Oh my. That's a massive fight win for them. They, I believe, only got a couple tracks, maybe 3 tracks off actually, so a lot of gold going their way. And man, all of a sudden, VG Gaming in the driver's seat, the blink reveal didn't initially get the perfect initiation. There was a press the attack, but it didn't matter because VG Gaming were collapsing on that top lane. EG only had 3 heroes initially, and then they start keeping in, but those follow-up responses aren't enough. Your Luna's not getting an Eclipse off, and even if she does, it's only a level 3 Lucent Beam Eclipse. You're not going to have the damage. Right.
And I feel like this is one of the things that a lot of the Chinese teams, LGD is a great example here, VG Gaming, they do this very well, where when they make these kind of rotations, they'll always bring in the extra hero. And in that part, it was very important, right, that we had the Ember Spirit there because we had a full HP, full mana Sumail sitting on top of a lot of heroes. If they didn't have that Ember Spirit there, that trade-off could have been a little bit worse.
Yeah, that's one of those smokes. A team like VP is going to bring 3 heroes and have hero pushing bottom lane and hero pushing mid and be like, you know, this should work, we should get a kill, but if it doesn't, we're still, you know, farming the map. VG Gaming, a lot of the Chinese teams take a very different approach where it's let's bring everywhere. Because I think from EG's perspective there, you counterplayed that game pretty damn well. You purged off the lasso, Sumail instantly TP rotates, he's one of the strongest heroes on the map as a level 10 Leshrac, and it was a complete disaster. They lose all 5. So I don't think for Sumail that's a misplay that he TP'd in there. I think it's just VG Gaming understanding the situation and bringing all 5 heroes.
Yeah, they understand that they're much stronger right now, right? The Darkhawker is naturally going to beat out this Luna when it comes to the team fight damage this early on into the game, especially since he has a net worth lead. This Ember Spirit can pretty easily outdo, I think, the impact of the Leshrac, especially if you could just focus firing him down. And I think there's going to be a big difference between the supports as well, right? This Witch Doctor can't really have the same impact as the Lion, who got that very early level 6.
Yeah. The crazy thing with Vici is they have 4 heroes that can dish out a big amount of burst magic.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
It looks like Dyer
Pop the drum.
They really want to try and close this gap.
They are all spotted now, though. And I believe that is now, it looks like the Yule Scepter coming up for SCCC. So they're going to have a lot more catch and setup now for the Queen of Pain, which you know, when they picked the quad, we're like, oh yeah, very elusive hero. There's not that crazy amount of lockdown, but now Lina, Yule Scepter.
I mean, it really does feel that this game, the warding has been just
phenomenal.
It's a little bit better from you.
Yeah,
like,
it's been really
Navi's been struggling in terms of vision, as we've seen they're moving around, and Newbie's just spotting them out every single time.
Yep.
Newbie knows exactly what's coming out of Navi. Very strong warding.
Hey, they're getting out farmed because of it. Navi, look at this. They have all 5 pretty much
just
together.
Walking around.
And Newbie, they're splitting up. You see SCCC's farming. Mugi, of course, as we mentioned, is completely free farming as well. Scan even comes out and catches Navi. And now Eclipse back online. It's level 2 as well. So they didn't take advantage of when they had Doom, and this Doom is getting lower and lower level 7.
He's out alone.
Oh, he's very far up.
And he's away from the team, and he'll be punished.
He didn't even have a ward or anything. He was very alone. Maybe he was just trying to find a steal.
Maybe just pushing them. He just wants to keep them away from the tier 2 push now. Make sure that the team could get away. As they will, Navi. Play him another tier 2 tower.
It's a book 2 finished. Once they've got the book 3, it's going to be very nice versus both that Omni Knight as well as that Lina, who has that Yule Scepter. You know, the Purge, of course, can be very useful. I really want to see some, like how scaled the Roshan gets to, because this is the first game we're going to see actually in a tournament game since the patch for us. So I want to see how powerful that actually can be.
Oh, look at Kaka's got an info. Oh, Sentry's going to be dropped. Lil, it's not going to save him. Sentry down, doesn't matter. Kaka's there with the backup of KP, and will fall. See if General, Bella and Denny can get this. They should be able to. He has got the Maledict on him. They've got the burst, holding him down, and they will get return kill onto Kaka.
Nice 564 Maledict pick.
So a 4K lead that Newbie have, and it really is this farm on Mugi.
He's going for full greed too. He's going for Yasha Manta. He's just going for that full farm build. I mean, if he gets, it's Navi definitely under the gun here in this game quite a bit. They got to be making these aggressive moves. They have to be getting those aggressive warps down to watch this Luna, keep tabs on her.
I think it's going to be more when the level 3 Necro book is there on Crystallized. That's when we're going to see Navi really go for it.
They really have to.
And they have to.
I mean, they're getting quite out-farmed. I mean, the Doom is level 9, Omni Knight level 12. So General is really
got so much space up top. What's General happy moving around with the team?
Yeah.
KP nearly having the Blink Dagger complete also.
Yeah. It's getting the experience in gold is getting worse and worse, because as we keep seeing, Navi, look again, they are S4. Newbie, they have 3 people split up. They have the Luna constantly just farming this entire time. So their experience, you see, it's about 5K gold advantage, almost a 7,000 experience lead now at this point. The level differential is really starting to become quite apparent.
I like that as well there from SCCC. Actually, picking up the 4-star on his mid Lina.
Okay, versus
so extra bit of distance he can create.
Yeah.
Where if they see some of the Lycan or the Doom going straight for him.
Hook shot in.
Oh, they've got the connection. In they go under the tower. Lil call out. Kaka straight in. SCCC with the double damage will push on. At the same time up top, the push again coming through from Crystallize and his army. Forces out the fortification. Newbie are starting to head over. So they can really do anything to stop this. Of course, hook shot unavailable. So it doesn't look like it can. Navi will get away with another tier 2 tower. The money getting closer and closer for Dendy to have his Orchid. And in terms of Crystallize, he does now have the funds for the complete level 3 Necro. Once this happens, Mugi still farms. Going through the jungle, he's got the Manta Style now complete. 18 minutes in is very good timing.
Definitely quite scary. What is he, level 15? How's our Lycan? Crystallizes level, he just hit level 11, okay. But look at that difference. Luna almost 16. That's to show the difference about how they're splitting up so much and how Navi is really just 5-manning or 4-manning constantly and splitting that experience.
I mean, as we said, that's sort of how Navi have to play. But it just maybe hasn't been going as fast as Navi would have hoped for. As it really is getting to the point where if Mugi turns up and Navi take one bad team fight and the Luna survives, gets a few kills out of it, the game becomes very difficult to swing around.
SCCC is even building for the damage. So you said the 4-staff is going to go for that Hurricane Pike build so he can distance himself, push that Lycan away once he gets on top of him.
Bit of stats, as well, get that extra bit of strength.
Definitely. ranged, attack speed to Siege.
Yeah.
They have the 2 people that can benefit off Lunar Blessing and Navi. This is their big smoke play. They get some kills here. They transition to the Roche. This is where they needed to go right.
And if this goes wrong and there's a chance to turn around, I mean, already Kaka spotted out. Kaka actually hook shots away. He TPs immediately.
Can they catch anything out of this?
They might get killed. KP's pretty speedy. He's running. And a very neat little play there, Faith putting the Nightmare onto the Doom, so the Scorched Earth wasn't going to be there to stop KP's blink.
Is Faith going to get out too?
They're all
out. Oh my god, every single one of them.
Oh, and Mugi keeps farming. He's loving life. He's out of there. Na'Vi can't quite find the catch. Maybe they can get SCCC. No, again, there's
spotted by the ward. Oh, these wards.
All this
Newbie's vision this game.
I mean, we've seen it in the past. Even the games where Newbie, their vision is always incredible.
I mean, Faith. They've got Faith.
Yeah.
Faith's
his
always
sort
been
of awareness and warding is really, just a notch above a lot of other teams.
Yeah. Looks like they might just gonna go for that Roche. It seems getting a bit frustrated with the movements, not going successful. They don't have the book available just yet, but oh my, look at the damage from Roche. All right. Spotted up by the rocket right away.
They are quite far away.
Their way over, though.
Na'Vi, they should get away with this. It's already down to half. They're heading over.
General is very low.
Mugi's a little further behind, so Mugi won't quite be there. Bella's already trying to block things off.
They have to get out of the pit.
Looks like they do. SCCC. He's going to look towards Bella. Does get doomed. Kaka with the hook shot, playing around with this one. That'll be the Nightmare onto Dendy. Stolen General trying to go with it. The hook shot from Kaka back into General. Mugi tries to come forward, but indeed Bella. That's stolen feed script. That's going to do it. They're turning it around. They take down Mugi. They might get more out of this as well. Down to that play. As Newbie have to run, they have to retreat. Kaka ticking down to the dagger from the Queen of Pain. He's going to drop. Dendy's still alive. KP, he's going to fall as well. There's Vela making this. That's the play. That's why they got him on. That Fiend's grip there. That play. I mean, if he didn't Fiend's grip the Luna,
it's perfect.
They would have lost that fight. Mugi would have walked in. He would have popped Eclipse. They would have all died on Na'Vi, but Vela gets the grip.
Yep. As soon as I saw him steal it, I was like, uh-oh, they've used pretty much all their disables.
Yeah.
On the side of Newbie. Gets the perfect opportunity, and there we go.
Pretty clutch, because now Na'Vi can continue. They've sort of got a bit better control now of the game. Sure, they're still behind, but they're sort of back on track to play at the pace they want. They have that Aegis on Dendy. They got that kill on Mugi. That's some big stuff there.
Yeah. It's every little thing, right? They throw the Doom on SCCC, and you see Newbie was just like, we kind of need to disengage a bit. They weren't able to. And that's quite a big swing. The gold still favoring it, Newbie quite a bit here, but you see that big dip coming down.
They've got to do something with this Aegis. I mean, at the moment, they're sort of split out to sort of recover the lanes, but Na'Vi, as soon as they can, they have to get back together and just do something.
Yep.
They can't get the Aegis and fall back and farm, as we're saying. You just can't do that.
They're going to get out farmed. Like, that's just the nature of Luna versus Lycan.
You've got to do stuff.
Unless you're pressuring like crazy, unless you're snowballing, the Luna will out-farm you. Dendy blinks in on top of Faith, but there's 3 heroes there.
Oh, Dendy.
He's got the Aegis. That's one. They're going to back out right after taking that out. So that advantage of the Aegis they have,
it's gone.
Just gone.
So they are still looking to try and fight potentially, because look who's coming in from the side, Crystallize. With the ult, but instantly, Newbie, they're getting out.
Oh, Faith, TP cooldown. He's just sitting in the tree lines, though, and he'll be all right. He'll be able to get TP out. Now back to SCCC, pushing out bottom lane, Mugi pushing out mid lane.
And the Luna still farms on, and Mugi.
They're spotting Crystallize too. Look at this, Kaka and Faith. Got the ward vision of him here, but now KP
again,
with the grip.
Gets another use out of it. Very nasty.
They're probably like, damn it, Faith, why'd you give him grip? Skill and feeble, so you can throw in feeble out now. He doesn't have a point of enfeeble.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
2 pretty decent kills there.
Something better help Dire's middle tower.
I mean, for Mugi, he's got 3.2k. Does he need to get a BKB as well as that man? Or do you think he wants to go for something more offensive like the butterfly?
I think the butterfly is the best choice. The curious thing for me is, SCCC, he is going for BKB so he can keep his ground. But I think they do need someone to be building those Lincolns as well.
I was going to say, surely Lincolns is going to be the favorable light in this game.
Yeah. They'll probably get it afterwards. BKB into Lincolns. Maybe on both Mugi and him. And
you've
Mugi is
got
going
an Omni Knight as well in your team.
Yeah.
But
it can't get dispelled. That's the thing, is Guardian Angel can get dispelled in those situations.
True.
Sure, the Repel can't, but the physical damage is quite high from Na'Vi. Their magic is quite limited. Mid, Faith.
Quick jump in, and the Eclipse will be there for General as he does walk into a Mugi ult. Now Mugi
Lil walks into
Lil. Hook shot from Kaka. Lil, he's got the Glimmer Cape. We'll be able to kite it out a little bit. Crystallize. What's the ult, but there's the combo lands, and there's the damage with the Laguna Blade. Crystallize is just going to get comboed down. They may even lose more out of this. Can they get the rest of them away? Dendy is going to get hit by the Lucent Beam. Does have the Blink Up and the Glimmer Cape from his teammate to get back to safety.
But Lil.
He's gone as a triple kill for KP. That's the sort of fight that Mugi loves to be a part of, and he certainly was. As they sort of took that fight, they didn't. I mean, they had what the one observer ward on that high ground between the mid and the top lane, but still, General sort of waltzes in and tanks an entire Eclipse.
Yeah, the damage from the Luna, 4,374, and it all takes in that situation too. Lycan, he's going for AC. He's not going for the BKB next, so gets used, stunned up instantly from the cleanup. Dead. If you get isolated like that, you are definitely dead versus this lineup. There's way too much damage. Now it's Na'Vi. They got that Roche, but losing that Aegis so quick, they weren't able to get anything out of that Aegis at all. And Newbie, they're comfortable again. Back to farming.
I mean, Mugi.
He switched back to Butterfly. Okay. I like that. I think the Butterfly is like. Then they have pretty much no way to kill this guy unless he gets Fiend Script.
If he gets repelled, he's living in this fight every single time.
Unless
and
he's some spectacular steals.
All the summons. All the summons and such. And as we saw that, if Na'Vi lose fights, they will lose towers. And it's getting closer and closer to the point where if Na'Vi loses a team fight, they'll lose the base. Mugi will literally tear it apart with his Butterfly.
BKB finished Lina. Crimson Guard finished up on Kaka too, so that we were saying how Na'Vi is very dependent on all that physical damage. This Crimson Guard is going to put in work. Sure, the guard can get dispelled off by the book, but you're only going to have so many dispels off versus this lineup, and now Mugi's stealing some ancient stacks too.
It really does feel like this Luna is just too big at this point.
It's getting out. I mean, it's been getting out of hand for a bit. Na'Vi, they had that little strike back, but this Luna having a beautiful game. Full Butterfly on the courier. Didn't even disassemble that Mask of Madness.
I feel like Luna has really been ESL as well. I felt we saw that this is just such a strong hero as well at the moment, because if you don't punish this hero at a certain point in the game, it just farms so quickly. With one, you just hit Mask of Madness, you're good to go. You're going to be easily, thousands of gold ahead of your opponent carry at sort of the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, if you're not, it's pretty much you have to pressure this hero. You can't let her be doing this, because she is averaging well over 10 CS a minute, while you compare to Lycan. Lycan has 183 at 27 minutes. Luna has well over 300. Look at that difference.
What hero can farm as fast as a Luna?
There's not that many
at that stage of the game with one item. Maybe Dusu with Mask of Mana, but then you don't really have to build for that with it. It's,
Nui leading the charge. General does not want to jump on that clockwork. They will have faith there, but the Crimson Guard comes out.
You get a good three-man cog. Look now, Mugi. He's looking to turn. He's got the G. He does get Doom, but he already got the Eclipse out. Oh, it's a triple kill as Vela goes as well. The backup that they can provide for Lin. He doesn't even. The Doom literally does nothing.
Kaka gets a three-man cog.
Oh, and now this is the push we talked about. You lose a team fight against this Luna, and it's pretty much game over for one of your barracks. And maybe this game over in general, they could go for more here. This Luna, I think we may see this Luna just getting banned out in this series. This is as we just said, if you are prepared to shut down the Luna, you literally have just lost the game. If you're playing sort of this Lycan lineup, it's always going to hit this timing where the game is just impossible. Mugi just 5k ahead of the 27-minute mark.
You have to be ahead as the Lycan team in this game. You cannot let this Luna have this type of farm. You have to be the team just full out pressuring. Dendy walks into them with the BKB.
I mean, Mugi's just going to hit him.
The right clicks. The right clicks. He's in.
I mean, this is game over. Legendary G. The Mugi Luna, the longest place in the world, along it down to the very good board from Mugi. Who said they have perfect information to sort of dodge the rotations that Na'Vi did make. Na'Vi did make the attempt to sort of make these moves to catch out Mugi. It happened with a couple of times, but other than that, it was a free farm.
get a BKB off. That's kind of an ideal start to a fight for EG, but even so, they're just too far behind net worth. Gyrocopter's almost double the Luna's net worth. Ember and Batrider are second and third in terms of net worth. These BKBs, all these extra items, Lion having an Aeon disc, small little things like this just keep on adding up, and fights for EG are only going to get harder and harder.
When you control the map, you also control the bounty rune. All four of them, once again, going to BG Gaming. Unfortunately, their Gyrocopter didn't survive in that last fight. Even though they won a fight just outside of EG's base, they couldn't actually go for any real tier 3 damage. But that's okay. They just built up a 22k net worth lead. Ori's going to have a big item coming in as well.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me about BG playing safe. This game is kind of... Their safest way to win this game is to build up a 20k plus gold lead because their lineup doesn't break base that well. They haven't even taken a single Roshan. We're 31 minutes in with a 23k gold lead. How often do you see a team in that position not kill Roche 1? That's exactly where BG Gaming are. They don't have Roche killers. They don't have building killers. And Roche has gotten a lot of buffs. He does a lot more damage now. You definitely need Roche killers if you want to be going for the big man. And something BG Gaming just don't have, so they're going to prioritize hero kills because they give a hell of a lot more gold when you've got a bounty hunter.
Pop of the smoke intentionally, 11. Actually pops his BKB, turning, thinking about going for the lasso, or he's going to try and interrupt. They do manage to get the duel onto Old 11. He turns and finds, he may be able to finish up Old 11 first. Now he goes down, RTZ battling it out with Paparazzi, who easily has enough HP to survive. Fly turning around, gets a Maladin off last second, but they're underneath the shrine, so they will survive. Once again, BG Gaming, they knew entirely what that team fight was going to be all about. They had the successful scan on EG. It just seems like the combination of early game pressure, the laning phase that they had, and the bounty hunter just allowing them to know exactly what EG is doing every moment of this game.
Yeah, and Batrider, he breaks the smoke. He gets himself in a good position where they can just kite them around. Ember's going to force out BKBs just with a sleight of fist here in chains. And that fight goes incredibly well. Batrider only dies because S4 gets a really nice duel. He's trying to force stuff into Lasso the Luna, and he gets dueled like mid-force stuff while the push is going on, which gets him the back kill, but ultimately it means it's a 5-for-1 instead of a 5-for-0 because of that.
Now you've got the ultimate sustain item. Paparazzi has a Satanic, which means if he does pop it, and you somehow stun him or whatever, it won't really matter. Ori managed to just take a tier 3 and walk away in front of 4 heroes of Evil Genius.
Pretty handy. Take these shrines now if you want to do the full-on BG Gaming slow roll victory. And Ori's Blink Lincoln, he is incredibly pesky and hard to latch onto now. Definitely a very good place to just clean up these fights as we...
Evil Geniuses are going to need a lot more than just pluck and chat wheel to be able to come back from this. 29k gaming with a potential endgame smoke coming through. Doesn't look like they're going to catch anybody too important. They spot out Fly. That's not really a big kill, but it's still a track kill, so it's always worth a jump on. Arteezy, oh no, Arteezy got spotted. He's going to be lassoed. That is the kill that they really wanted.
It's being pushed out at least, but that is such a big kill. And mid lane is not being pushed out, so they could even just go into the bottom lane, go for the melee rack there if they want. Another DD rune on Ori. Things looking fantastic for VT Gaming here.
Cuts the creep wave, goes for the ranged racks with normally large amount of physical damage. The double damage rune. Should be able to take this lane. Meanwhile, Sumail just trying to get whatever he can. He knows they're not actually going to go for any sort of engagement, so he takes the tier 2 in the top lane. But VG Gaming, they're not going to slow down. Not here. Not when they control the base like this. They're going to go for a second lane of racks. Sumail has backed off, choosing not to go and threaten the tier 3. Going to try and come forward. Ori threatening him immediately every single time with this blade mail. Play the front line. Oh, he actually does manage to get stunned off the barrel as Cat bounds over. Now Sumail pops BKB. Had the Andis pop on him. Now lasso into Paparazzi, who's just going to stand tall. He has that Aegis. He has the Satanic. There's no way he's bringing him down. And he's got the physical damage to wipe Evil Geniuses. They'll take that mid lane of Rax. There's still a tier 2 in the top lane, so Evil Geniuses, they can sit out this game if they want to. They can see if VG Gaming are going to throw a 35k gold lead, but I highly doubt it.
DZ's already got the rapier queued up. Feeling like that's Lasera. They're just going to sit in the fountain. They're like, if you guys aren't going for our tier 4 enthrones, we are not going to defend. Looks like Paparazzi will start getting to work on them as they have to wait 15, 16 seconds for this Witch Doctor Legion to respawn, and that's really when EG can mount their last defense. Does look like a bit of a hopeless one right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Shamil here. It does.
Tower is under attack.
Okay. Second tier 4 is going to fall. Still 20 seconds until Smells back up. So Evil Genius may have to fight this without him. Oh no, they tried to go for the goal. Paparazzi, he's too fast. He popped the Satanic first. He loses absolutely no HP. And Evil Geniuses will fall one by one. Mass buybacks out. Paparazzi still has Maledict on him. But guess what? He also has BKB as well as an Aegis still to be burned through. Arteezy just does not do enough physical damage. They may be able to finish off the first life, but the throne is at half HP. Good for staff away, saving Ori's life, just kind of away Samael as much as possible. Samael, he's trying to lock down supports right now. He's not even trying to think about core kills because honestly, he just can't even do it. The supports are ganging up on him. Aeon Diz going around all around on him. Will survive. They'll finish off Samael, and they'll take Evil Genius's last member alive. S4, Arteezy is going to hide out inside of town, make sure he doesn't have an even worse KDA than he already had. 2-10 is what he's going to end on. Rough game for Arteezy and the rest of the boys in blue.
Yeah, 4 players end the game with 10+ deaths. They got steamrolled.
Yeah.
There's not much to it.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
Turn to pick.
Dire team's turn to pick.
Initiation heavy lineups, and counter initiation generally is the best way to deal with that. Jakiro was just really great at dealing with the summons of Beastmaster. It was pretty much either Jakiro or Witch Doctor. Those are the two heroes we generally think of when we want to counter Beastmaster on the lane. And then yeah, VP picks up Viper. So for them, the Viper was the response to the Death Prophet. Something that I'm not exactly sure you know, if it's the best pick, because Exorcism can shred Viper pretty well in the mid and late game stages, so I'm not sure if that's really a great counter outside of the laning phase. Definitely within that realm, yeah, obviously Soul Siphon and, you know, the Cryptstorm or whatever it's called, you know. Yeah, I call it the Dota 1 name. Yeah, it's like you know, it's not gonna really dent Viper, and he could trade back very effectively, but you know, I personally always love to see the Lina in this situation and not being banned. You know, I have to believe that was a better pick, but obviously VP knows much better than I do, and probably what also shaped their opinion as well is not only the matchup, but the heroes they do see. So we see Jakiro and Gyrocopter, two very heavy on the magic damage side type of heroes, and obviously if Viper can get in those kind of situations where he can just tank through the magic damage, that's when he shines the best. So I think that, you know, weighing in all the factors there, that probably edged out Viper in that situation.
And it is a no one comfort hero. He does play a fair amount of Viper.
Yeah,
of course,
and he plays it really well. Like he's one of those Viper players that like gets on the top 2 net worth, even top 1 net worth when he has a, you know, a very hard farming carry on his side. And it's like not many players pull out Viper to that extent. So that's why for him I feel like it's much more scary than any other Viper right now.
Brew's interesting to me. Now it's his primal split potentially could be pretty strong in this game, but at the same time, you know, before the break effect could be annoying for on top of him, and as well as getting locked in on him, you know, could suck obviously, and doesn't know the safe winner he's going up for that matter. But yeah, what do you think?
Dire team's turn to pick.
Brewmaster is a traditional counter to Viper. You just throw up the Drunken Hazer, and it just neuters the hero completely because he's basically a right-clicking machine outside of his ultimate and maybe, you know, throwing out his W's every once in a while. But overall, Brewmaster, even back in the day, teams used to pick Brewmaster into the mid matchup because Brew could just completely shut him out even in the laning phase. So in this situation, just thinking it's generally a good hero against the Viper, and maybe just can cover the bases against the Bane this time, throw him up or throw the boulder, just cancel out that grip. That's something they're gonna have to be aware of. So let's see, TNC banned out the Lifestealer. Definitely another hero kind of in the same vein where Lifestealer doesn't care about Brewmaster's Haze, he pretty much can like anti-carry Gyro in a lot of ways because of magic immunity, and you know, I guess they were just afraid of that. But let's see, on Virtus Pro side, they bound Tuskar, so Tusk for Viper is very troublesome, right? Because in mid lane, if you get charged off, there's not much Viper can do in those situations. So they're just trying to make this laning phase a little bit better.
They need lockdown on TNC side. They need some kind of hard stun. I feel like a Sand King is still available, so.
Sand King's banned out.
Oh no, he was banned. Yeah,
well.
God, that was a late ban. I was expecting to see it early, if anything, but no, it is down there.
I 100% agree with you, and that's kind of what happened in their last lineup, right? Their only hard initiation was the Beastmaster Roar, but outside of that, they had there was nothing to set up for the Leshrac, and in this situation, nothing really to set up with the Jakiro. But even so, they're kind of lacking catch. There will be a Yules on Death Prophet at some point, but yeah, the same thing here. The Undying,
that's just so underwhelming. It is and I'm not. That's not even me reacting to the first game necessarily. Like when it was picked the first game, I agreed with you. I think it's somewhat of an underrated hero right now because of the meta, the aggressive dual lanes. But man, you're lacking some stun right now. It didn't maybe work out the best the first game. I don't know. It just feels odd here.
I think it's really redundant because you generally pick Jakiro to deal with the Beastmaster, and the best possible lane for the Undying would be into the Beastmaster and the Elder Titan lane, 2 strength heroes that would get completely demolished by Decay. I feel like in this game there's no real advantage to it on the laning phase, which is probably the most important aspect of him, but also they do have the attack speed aura, so it's not going to be trouble. They're not going to have any trouble dealing with the Tombstone. And you know, a lot of his damage, like the Soul Rip is like one of his key burst abilities, not really going to affect Viper whatsoever. So yeah, kind of puzzling. I definitely agreed with you that they needed some kind of catch ideally, but that being said, they do have this very intense grouping up lineup. They can team fight Death Ball very effectively with Brew Split and Gyro Ulted and Exorcism being the big cooldowns, and then throwing the Tombstone on top.
Yeah, but if they can't keep them in place, does that really matter? Like, they literally have an ice path, and that's it for it.
Yeah.
Final pick Juggernaut, by the way, is standing out to me before it happens here as a possibility. Oh, let's hope
the Leshrac. What the hell?
Yeah, Leshrac is interesting, isn't it? Ramsey's like, okay. Okay, I would not have guessed that one.
He's gonna completely destroy Brewmaster in lane with this, at least. You know, at the very least. I'm not 100% sold on this. Like I said, I do think Viper can lane well versus DP, but in the mid-late game, the Exorcism will shred him pretty effectively. I think VP, I was going to mention that VP's team fight isn't the best. Like, that's one thing that's going for TNC, and Leshrac definitely helps that a bit because he'll be able to join the fights and provide more magic damage, but we do see a swap here. What is this? Ramsey's they're probably just trolling.
They're trolling us, yeah. It's VP. I'm not going to fall for it. It's going to be a Ramsey's Leshrac, let's be honest.
Yeah. But even still, when your lineup is very heavy on the single target, like the Bane, the Viper, the Beastmaster, 3 out of the 5 of your heroes into kind of this Death Ball lineup, they definitely can take advantage on TNC. And you did ask the question, you know, will it matter if they have all this team fight if they can't catch anyone? But when you have a Jakiro, Exorcism, Gyrocopter sieging towers, generally they'll take them quite efficiently. And in those type of situations, when the opponent feels like they can't take fights into you, you generally just get a free tower, and then that will transition from, you know, tier 1 mid to tier 1 top, tier 1, you know, tower, Roshan, and it just kind of works like it's just clockwork pretty much. And there's like a set game plan where you go push a tower. If they fight you, great, then you have a huge advantage. If they choose to dodge you, then you take the tower quickly. You go to the next one. You take Roshan, at which point you feel like they would be forced to engage into you, and you have so much at the pit, and then that would be where you get your advantage mostly. And then after that, you just get the items you do need to break the high ground, and that would be their game plan.
So they do eventually swap back. To clarify, it is Ramsey's on the Leshrac and Elder Titan in the hands of Roger, of course, instead. So Cuckoo this time will be on Undying. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Tim's playing it the first game for TNC. So was it Cuckoo?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Either way, he is going to be in the aggressive lane. Tim's on his Jakiro. They're setting up to run that aggressive tri-lane from TNC. So they were the ones getting tri-lane last game down here. Now they're the ones looking to do a tri-lane themselves. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah, because this Leshrac pick would completely destroy the Brewmaster in lane. His main advantage is that he can constantly haze up your right-clicking carry. But Leshrac doesn't really care because he will see us with his abilities. And because he has a Split Earth, just paired with one support disable, generally they're able to put a ton of pressure on the Brew, if not kill him if he's not careful. So they're kind of trying to dodge that situation. TNC is really forcing this Undying down like VP's throat, like in the laning phase. It's not something that, you know, you really want. I didn't think that this Undying was going to be that effective unless he was in the safe lane, but I feel like he's going to struggle to find a place here. I think what you do is you leave the Undying in this lane, then you put the Jakiro top, because there's no way that the Brew is going to be, you know, really good. And I was tuning into the EG series during the break, and I did hear Nahaz recall a stat that aggro tri-lanes in this patch, or in this meta in the recent months, only has a 30% win rate for the team that goes aggro tri-lane.
It feels like it's overused, and yeah, just from the eye test, I could have told you that honestly, and it's interesting to hear the numbers almost backing that up. That we see a lot of these teams, not a lot, but several teams really insisting on doing these aggressive trial lanes that don't really work out in the end. So TNC is attempting to do that here, but I mean, right now it's just kind of Elder Titan pushing up Pasha. Now, obviously, he makes his way here, and they send Ramses to the top lane instead. So if you're TNC, do you now react to this? Do you want to deal with that Leshrac, or you just say screw it and commit to this now?
They need to react to this instantly, and then by the look of the reaction so thus far, I feel like they're not even going to attempt to rotate anybody. They're just all in on this situation, except the Brewmaster's in a lot of trouble top, because now that they got level 2 on both of their heroes, pretty much impossible to lane, whereas like the Beastmaster and the Elder Titan can kind of just sit and leech experience, and they won't really die unless they put themselves in that position, but they'll just TP back regardless and just get the XP.
Pasha, the stomp hits. Now the Rocket Barrage was shadowed before, so still doing some good damage. Now comes the decay right there and the eventual auto attack from Tim's to finish the job. So first blood going the way of TNC as they take out Pasha. That was well played.
He just TP's back now, and generally part of the problem with aggro tri-lanes is that the experience share is just very noticeable on your supports and your carry. The supports feel like outside of the laning phase, if they don't get enough levels, it's very hard for them to transition into the mid game, and it's a lot on the cores. And generally that disadvantage is offset by the fact that you're a safe laner. That you're usually your 3 position is like having a good lane, because you usually aggro tri-lane so that your offlaner has that lane that he.
Your turn to ban. Five seconds left. Don't freeze up. Pretty sure it's your turn to pick. Hey, it's your turn to pick now. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Are you gonna pick one or what? it's your turn to pick. Pretty sure it's your turn to pick. Remember, cooler heads prevail.
I am the messenger of those gone by. Granted.
Prepare for battle!
You are heard. As it please you. As you wish. Shades, guide me. I hear. I hear and obey.
Thirty seconds to battle.
I accept your guidance. Yes.
The battle's starting!
Money changes hands. I'll take that as tribute to my thanks. The spirit moves me. Yes. So say the spirits. I accept. Admired. As it please you. As the shades direct.
First blood.
The final kill.
First blood.
My work here is not yet done. The spirit moves me.
Más pasivo como sexual, mi carry.
I accept your guidance. For the ancestors. I hear and obey. go. So say the spirits. Mesh. Battle fury. I accept your guidance. I accept. Granted. How does it please you? As the shades direct.
Killing spree.
I go. The spirit moves me. As you wish. You are heard. Ho, ho, ho!
Arma las skills que necesites para poder matarlo, por favor. Que estoy con Mook. Estoy con Smoke, tío, vete. ¿Estás listo, verdad, Invoker?
You're not going anywhere. Amoto Aticano. Blood on your hands. I hear and obey. Of course.
Siempre lo deja poquísima vida el man.
Yes. Your truth. Granted. Fortunes change. To my ancestors, I return. My spirit returns to flesh.
Okay, less dying this time.
You are heard.
An end
I accept your guidance.
Drink from Invoker, and the flayed one's
Mark your
pucker.
death. Yes. Shade, guide me. We find corn for you. Of course. Me bound. Who wants that shadow?
Your middle tower is under attack.
My soul's light ends. I return. I hear. I accept. As the shades direct. How does it please you? So say the spirits.
Ya veo por qué te están matando como basura.
Transmuted. As you wish. Stay alive. I'll let you go. I hear and obey. Attack.
Te matan porque eres estúpido, pero bueno, tu problema.
I go. here. Shades, guide me. Regeneration. Granted. The spirit moves me.
Se quedó sin maná.
I hear and obey.
Sepárate todo, Tem. Buena.
As you wish. I'm under attack. I see. My
The middle tower is under attack.
I am not yet worthy to go beyond the hill.
Thanks.
So say the spirits. Ah. As the shades direct.
Let's talk about your top tower.
The bones are thrown. The shades empower me. Of you, the final. The material played does truly matter.
No tiene maná para escupir el hijo puta.
Don't let your middle tower
Buena.
fall.
Beat you like a drum. Fair price.
Dire have fortified their structures.
I accept.
Don't let your middle tower fall.
I accept your guidance.
Your middle tower is gone. I tried to warn you.
Y otra vez se murió la lacra.
You are heard. Of course.
Cállate la boca, hijo de puta.
Granted. So say the spirits. Ah.
Tío, ¿es en serio lo que acabas de hacer, retrasado? Me llega al huevo, te feo la partida. No pienso jugar con estúpidos, tío, adiós. Vamos a federar al Slayer de una vez para que gane. Estúpido de mierda, necesito mi level 6, tío. Para algo compro mi puto libro. Gana tú, tío, gana tú, eres un Smurf.
The spirit moves me. Sorte nomenes forticale.
Pienso jugar con gente tan retrasada.
Shades, guide me. Yes. As it seems. I hear and obey. As you wish. Shades, guide
It
me.
looks like Dire fortified their structures.
Your time comes. Granted. I bind you.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Take that. Of course.
Osca de mierda, Smurf dice.
As you
más? ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué, tío? ¿Para qué hacerle ganar a alguien? ¿Por qué, viejo? Bruto, un axe con urna. Un retrasado que no sabe ni comprar una puta bota de tranquilidad. ¿Quieres que juegue? No, tío, qué asco. No sé tú cómo aguantas a tus cholos de tu cerro, tío. Son de tu invasión, así. Aguántalos tú. Otra vez se murió. Bueno. 1 lash de 7. Y no está fedeando él, ¿ah? Imagínate la mierda que es. Vanguardia, tío, qué asco. El otro equipo también es retrasado como este estúpido. Puto perro asco.
Should look at your bottom tower.
So say the spirits.
Your top tower is under attack.
O sea, te matan como basura a ti y es mi culpa, chucha. Estoy esperando que siga escupiendo nada más para que me maten. Chucha, le pienso sacar una urna a un axe, rano estúpido. O sea, yo estoy hablando mal cuando tú eres el que dice P y P. Claro, marginal.
I guess Radiant fortified their structures.
Buena, caca. Te sirvió de mucho tu urna, tu axe, ¿no? Claro, porque me matas como mierda. Creo que no te has dado cuenta que no cuenta cuando te mueres como estúpido.
You really should look at your bottom tower.
My lord,
Your bottom tower has been denied.
Buena, Murphy. Nota que todos se morfean, ¿no?
Your top tower is under attack. Let's talk about your top tower. Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower is fallen.
Difusora. Pedazo de caca.
Ecstatic return! The spirit moves me.
No, juega solo. Quiero ver cómo va nuestro bota solo.
Transmuted. I bind you. I'm under attack. As you wish. I slot off.
The middle tower is
Buena. Buena, gracias.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Pierde esa ronda, concha de tu madre, porque aprende a respetar el system de los demás, indio de mierda.
Dire structures are fortified.
Fortifican. No vas a ganar, basura.
Stop them. Your middle tower has fallen. You do know what you're doing, right?